Any One Punch Man fan would tell you that the series has some of the most undeniably cool characters to be found in superhero anime. So cool in fact, that many of them would transition seamlessly into other franchises with ease and make for both interesting and fun additions to those universes. In today's video, we'll look at some of the heroes from the world of One Punch Man and see what alternate setting they could be placed in. And just for clarification, this isn't about power scaling or fighting other universes. It's about applying the general feel and nature of that character into a series and applying that setting's world mechanics and scale to the character instead. And what better way to start the video than finding the right flow? The flow of Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, of course. There's a lot of great martial art anime out there for our favorite old man, Silverfang, to step into, but I think the most exciting one would be Baki. With a vast array of enticing matchups for Silverfang's masterful prowess, combined with the eccentric personalities of said fighters, it'd be awesome to see Bang integrate into this show's world. It's not hard to imagine the ever-improving Baki Hanma testing himself against the creator of Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, only to realize both the beauty and effectiveness of its style when trading hands with the Grand Master himself. In the One Punch Man verse, Bang is always looking for new students to teach his martial art to, which makes it very likely that Bang could serve as a mentor and role model for Baki, someone the young man learns technique and wisdom from, incorporating aspects of Bang's martial arts into his own and using those very defensive counters and redirections against the powerful and brutish attacks of characters like Biscuit Oliver or Jack Hanma. And much in the same vein of how some masters aided Baki in his fight against the death row inmates, it'd be clear to me that Silverfang would no doubt step in to test his own techniques against the villains of the fighting world, using his exquisite parries, deflections and pinpoint strikes to show all manner of opposition their inferiority in the ways of close combat. Bang would absolutely be a renowned legend who stands at the top of the Baki series alongside characters such as Doppo Orochi and Guki Shibukawa, and it's a given that his skills would ignite even the desire of the ogre himself, Yujiro Hanma. Let me know in the comments what relationship or encounter you'd want to see the most for Silverfang from the Bakiverse. But if punches and kicks aren't sharp enough for your interests, then Atomic Samurai is up next to carve open an alternative. This one was kinda close for me since I was stuck between two anime almost equally, but in the end, I went with Bleach. So much about Atomic Samurai screams that he'd be a great Shinigami captain of the Gotei 13, from his arrogant, self-assured personality to his initial reluctance of teamwork. Atomic feels very Serete coded, even more so since I recently rewatched the Soul Society arc of Bleach, where many of the captains had that too cool for school type attitude going on, not only toward Ichigo and friends, but even each other. It matches how Atomic treats most other heroes, so he'd be right at home in the tension-filled captain meetings within Soul Society. Similar to how Atomic finds camaraderie with strong, similar-minded people to himself like Silverfang and the Council of Swordmasters, I can also vividly picture Atomic Samurai relaxing somewhere near blossoming trees with other strong Shinigami like Shunsui Kuryaku or Jushiro Kitake, casually conversing over sake while they talk about ongoing events of Soul Society, or to boast proudly how their proteges are progressing in their respective squads. And on the flip side, how he might be on the verge of getting into scraps with the likes of Mayuri Kurotsuchi or even Kenpachi Zaraki over snide remarks, heated exchanges or downright clashes of pride. As a samurai hero who decimates monsters of all kinds, it'd be in his DNA to fight hollows of all sizes, and his swordsmanship would likely be the very best the Soul Society has ever seen. But his Kido would probably be pretty damn bad in return. So while Bleach may be my favourite pick for an alternate series which Atomic Samurai would fit into, there's a question here for you in the comments. What would be his Shikai and Bankai transformations if he were to be one of the captains from Soul Society? If you love One Punch Man and want constant videos relating to the characters from the series, then be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons to stay locked in with all the fun. The more the algorithm pushes the channel through your engagement, the more we can explore together. We're sending our next hero, Genos, to none other than one of the most classic places in all of fiction, the Dragon Ball universe. With Genos' lightning fast strikes, thunderous energy blasts, and constant insistence of bettering himself, I think he'd make for a great addition into the world of Dragon Ball. Now, Like I said at the start of the video, this isn't about power scaling, so you'd be right to say that Genos can't quite stack up to the power levels of the Z Warriors. However, we know that Dragon Ball loves its robots and androids within numerous stories, so there'd definitely be a way to squeeze the demon cyborg into the mold of Akira Toriyama's world. Perhaps he was a long lost android created by Dr. Gedo, or the newest high budget experiment of a faction like the Red Ribbon Army, or a tech heavy corporation sent to attack the Z Warriors only to eventually rebel against the injustice of his creators and end up joining Goku and friends, with Bulma always available in case he ever required an all change. Or new parts like he always seems to need. If Android 18 and Android 17 can hang around in the present day of Dragon Ball, there's all the more reason to think a well-meaning but still learning Genos could too. Who knows, we might even get to see a fully organic Genos if they collected the Dragon Balls and turned him completely human, giving him the chance to actually sculpt his natural body into one rivaling the Saiyans themselves. Genos would no doubt be enamored with the power of Goku and Vegeta, and the two of them would have an all too eager new sparring partner to keep them busy. Also, can't you just imagine Genos bluntly confronting and reprimanding Beerus mid-meal for eating too much of Bulma's food, saying something like, "It is completely unacceptable how you rudely eat so much of everyone's food while bringing none of your own," while Krillin scrambles to pull him back in full-blown panic mode before Beerus gets mad. I definitely think Genos has that essence of Dragon Ball Z about him in the way he fights and strives for improvement, so for me, he can definitely fit in there if power scaled up to match the iconic universe. What do you think would be the best way to introduce Genos into Dragon Ball if you had to? Let me know in the comments if this is the crossover which grabbed your interest the most. Rounding off the video, Tatsumaki was an easy choice for me, especially since she can flourish in another of one's creations, Mob Psycho 100. With Mob Psycho 100 being mainly about espers and their powers, Tatsumaki would fit right in given she's an absolute powerhouse of psychic power and would straight away cause shockwaves within the Mob Psycho setting. Being such a phenomenal Esper would allow her to be involved in the story in a multitude of ways, but to boil it down to simplicity, I'd like to believe she'd be the brash and arrogant person she's known to be in One Punch Man, but after encountering the lovable Mob with all of his own power and gentle nature, it'd eventually soften up her outlook on the world and the people around her until the two of them became pleasant acquaintances or maybe even friends. Mob would no doubt do his best to understand and connect with Tatsumaki on a more human level than she's probably ever been accustomed to, and show her that she doesn't always need to decimate people with her powers or verbally rip them apart as her first point of response to conflict or trouble. Not to mention, I can only imagine how amusing interactions between Tatsumaki and Reigen would be it for how she could easily see through his fraudulent behavior and check him on it constantly, or even in true One fashion, she may even somehow believe there's something powerful about him and drives herself in circles trying to figure out and comprehend it. Overall, with her snappy nature and snappier psychic powers, she'd have a lot of great chemistry with the cast of Mob Psycho 100 and may even grow into a semi-questionable role model for all of those growing espers. Luckily for the Claw organization in Mob Psycho, Tatsumaki didn't exist, otherwise they'd have gotten nowhere if they tried something funny with the terrible tornado around to say something about it. Tell me in the comments about how you'd think Tatsumaki and Mob would get along. Now, there's even more amazing heroes in the world of One Punch Man to imagine in other anime settings, however, I'll leave it here for today. If you guys did enjoy this video and would like me to continue it for the other famous heroes of the Hero Association, then let me know in the comments so I can see this is something you'd be down for. Also, feel free to tell me about where characters I didn't mention would fit into other series too, as I'd love to know what you guys would think for characters such as Metal Bat, Flashy Flash, and more. Subscribe if you enjoy One Punch Man related content, like the video if you found this video enjoyable, and check out the YouTube pop-up video on screen for more Saitama World.